Day 29, almost 3/4 of the way, in the 40 days of forgiveness. Affirmations for when you have a strained relationship with your kids. Because kids are stressful. As time goes on, it can feel more strained between you and your kids. It may be related to an old hurt, or it may be a generational pattern in your family of estrangement. These statements are to help let go of the strained feelings that you have with your kids. So, yesterday was I hate my family, so it's kind of like letting go of old feelings with maybe your parents or even siblings. This one is sort of being letting yourself let your kids be your kids and be themselves and be grateful for that, no matter how they treat you. So the old story is I'll always be angry with my kids, and the new story is I can connect with my children. And maybe you struggle with the connection because of a connection you had. So this is to help you have a better relationship if you recognize my past is really influencing my current relationship with my kids. So here we go. Statements. Breathe after each one. I'm just gonna relax here. My head on this blanket. All right. So I forgive myself for believing I'll always be angry with my kids. I forgive myself for believing this broken relationship is all my fault. I forgive myself for believing this anger with my kids can't change. I forgive myself for believing my child has to change and be something different before I can feel happy or let go of anger. I forgive myself for believing I didn't do anything wrong. I forgive myself when I hurt my kids' feelings by invalidating them or by failing. I forgive my child for hurting my feelings. I forgive myself when I don't try to fix the relationship or listen. I forgive my kid for not trying harder to fix our relationship. I give my kid permission to forgive me when I blame them for why our relationship is broken. I give my child permission to forgive me when I invalidate or don't listen. I give my child permission to forgive me when I can't change. I love and accept myself even when I'm afraid that this relationship will never be fixed. I love and accept myself even when I'm afraid I'll always be angry or they will always be angry with me. I love and accept myself even when I'm afraid I was never a good parent. I love and accept myself even when I'm afraid I was a good parent and they still hated me or hate me. I give myself permission to accept there's no such thing as a perfect parent. I give myself permission to respect my child and their boundaries even when I don't like them. I give myself permission to feel secure and confident connecting with my kid in a different way. I give myself permission to let go of anger and see my child for who they are and love them still. I give my kids permission to see me and love me and forgive me. Without this anger with my child, I'm free to love them for who they are. Without this anger, I'm free to listen and be real with my kids. Without this anger, we are free to have peace in our relationship, even from a distance. Without this anger, I'm free to love my kids, even though they don't want what I want. Even though they don't do what I want. Even though they don't want what I want or do what I want. Without this anger, I'm free to feel more secure and confident, letting my children make their decisions and still love them. And still be proud of them, still be grateful for them. Come on. All right, so the reflection question is, what's happening in your life that's straining your relationship? Good question. What is the conversation you want to have with the strained relationship? Like, what is the conversation that needs to happen or that you feel like you're not getting? What would happen if you let the relationship go? Or like you just were like, you know what? I'll let them, whatever terms they want, on their terms. What was most difficult and what resonated most? These statements are very much about, it's like forgiving myself for when I really did wrong. Like, as a parent, and just admitting that, like, I was imperfect and I did these things, and then respecting the decisions of my adult child. And even if you have a kid who's younger, this can still work for you, because it's still building that sort of energy of owning my mistakes and letting you be you, um, instead of like some extension of me that I need you to be happy, right? So it's freeing us to it's freeing the sort of parent child relationship to be more, um, less codependent on either side. Because there is, I think, a genuine codependency that exists when we have a child that is small. Like, they need us. It is codependent. Well, at least on they are completely dependent. We're not necessarily dependent on them, but they are dependent on us. So moving forward in a healthy way without it having to be some sort of like terrible break is important. All right. Hopefully that helps. That was a weird one and a tough one, but good.